Joan Vassos reveals connection between Chock and Kevin Costner. Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos wasn't shy about admitting a massive crush on Kevin Costner. She revealed the surprising connection between the actor and her fiancé, Chock Chapel. Keep reading to find out more. Joan Vassos reveals connection between Chock and Kevin Costner. Joan Vassos dropped a fun fact earlier this year that she made a cameo in the background in a scene from the Rob Lowe flick Stelmo's Fire in the 1980s. She admitted to a decades-long crush on the popular actor. He recently reacted to the news. She also confessed to having a major crush on Yellowstone actor Kevin Costner. Fans of the show were devastated when his character was killed off after tense contract negotiations. Joan spilled to Decider that there's actually a secret connection between Kevin Costner and her fiancé, Chock Chapel. The outlet asked the engaged couple how they maintained secrecy until the Golden Bachelorette season finale aired. Joan and Chock spilled the alias they used in their phones to keep their engagement a secret. Chock revealed he used Katie Vanter for Joan. She used her crush's name for Chock in her contacts, but for long. He's not on this season though, so I'm sorry, Kevin Costner. You're done? And today I'm gonna change his name to a normal name in my phone because he's still Kevin in my phone, Joan joked. Inside their happy couple weekends. Another way Bachelor Nation couples keep their relationship from fans is happy couple weekends planned by the production team. The couples hole up together in an undisclosed location for short visits until after the season finale when they can be out in public together. Chock and Joan revealed to Decider what they did during their weekends together. We did crosswords, puzzles. We had a couple members of the production team over for dinner, which was probably one of the more enjoyable things, Chock revealed. Joan spilled, I remember my favorite day, and it introduced me to the person that Chock really was. I had to go to the stylist place to do a long day of fittings for a bunch of things I needed outfits for. And I came home I was tired and pulled into the driveway, and I walked up. And when the car pulled out he came out of the house and had a glass of wine for me. And I came inside and he had dinner made. I was like, "Oak, I'm marrying this man." Definitely. Joan Vassos was no stranger to the limelight. A veteran journalist and best-selling author, she had built her career on uncovering the truths that others dared not touch. Whether it was political intrigue or the untold stories of Hollywood legends, Joan had a knack for connecting the dots in ways that left her audience spellbound. But her latest revelation, a connection between Kevin Costner, the enigmatic star of Yellowstone and Dances with Wolves, and a shadowy figure known only as Chock, was unlike anything she had ever uncovered. Joan first heard the name Chock while attending an exclusive industry party in Malibu. The gathering was an eclectic mix of A-list actors, directors, and producers, all sipping on champagne and exchanging the kind of whispered rumors that never made it to the tabloids. It was during a conversation with a retired cinematographer that Joan's journalistic instincts kicked in. "Ever heard of Chock?" the man asked, his voice low as if afraid someone might overhear. "He's the one who made Costner who he is today." Joan furrowed her brow. "Chock? What are you talking about?" The man glanced around the room nervously before leaning closer. "Chock isn't just a person. He's an idea, a muse, if you will. But Costner, he owes everything to him." Intrigued but skeptical, Joan decided to dig deeper. A few discreet phone calls and some late-night internet sleuthing led her to a series of cryptic references in Hollywood archives. Chock, it seemed, was a name that popped up in the most unexpected places: old scripts, production notes, and even personal letters between industry heavyweights. But there was no official record of anyone by that name working in Hollywood. The breakthrough came when Joan stumbled upon an old interview Kevin Costner had given in the early 1990s, around the time he was basking in the success of Dances with Wolves. In the interview, Costner cryptically mentioned a silent partner who had been instrumental in shaping his career. "He's someone who doesn't need the spotlight," Costner had said, "but his fingerprints are on everything I do." Joan's curiosity turned into obsession. Who was this Chock, and why was his influence so pervasive yet so hidden? Her investigation took her to Costner's hometown of Linwood, California, where she hoped to unearth clues about his early years. In the local library's dusty archives, Joan found an old yearbook photo of a young Kevin Costner standing beside another boy. The caption read, "Kevin Costner and Charles Chock Harper, Future Filmmakers Club, 1971. Finally, a name, Charles Harper, nicknamed Chock. Joan tracked down an address for a Charles Harper in a quiet suburb outside Denver, Colorado. When she arrived, she found a modest house with a neatly trimmed lawn. The man who answered the door was unassuming, with silver hair and a quiet demeanor. "Mr. Harper?" Joan asked. "Yes," he replied cautiously. "I'm Joan Vassos, a journalist. I'm here about Kevin Costner." Harper's face darkened. "I'm afraid I can't help you," he said, attempting to close the door. "Wait," Joan pleaded. "I'm not here to invade your privacy. I just want to understand the truth about your connection to Kevin Costner." Harper hesitated, then sighed. "Come in," he said reluctantly. Inside, Joan noticed framed photographs of Harper and Costner in their younger days. There was one of them fishing, another at a high school graduation, and yet another at what appeared to be a small film set. "You're persistent," Harper said as they sat down. "But I suppose you wouldn't be here if you didn't already know part of the story." "Tell me about Chock," Joan said. Harper chuckled. "Chock was a nickname I earned as a kid because I was always coming up with ideas. Kevin used to say I was the one who'd fill in the blanks when he was stuck, like chalk on a blackboard. But it became something more over time." He leaned back in his chair, his eyes distant. "Kevin and I grew up dreaming about making movies, but where he had the charisma and the drive, I was the one behind the scenes, figuring out how to make it all work. When he got his big break, I was right there with him, helping him shape his vision. But as he rose to fame, I realized I didn't want to be in the spotlight. I was happy to let him take the credit." Joan listened intently, sensing there was more to the story. "But why the secrecy? Why hide your role in his success?" Harper sighed. "Because it was never about me. It was about the work. Kevin knew that too. That's why he always kept me close, even if no one else knew about it." As Joan pressed for more details, Harper revealed that he had been involved in some of Costner's most iconic projects, providing creative input and behind-the-scenes support. But over time, their relationship had become strained. "Fame changes people," Harper admitted. "Kevin started surrounding himself with people who didn't understand our bond. Eventually, we drifted apart." Joan felt a pang of sadness as she listened to Harper's story. Here was a man who had played a pivotal role in one of Hollywood's most celebrated careers, yet he remained a ghost in the industry's history. Before she left, Harper handed her a faded photograph. It was of him and Costner on the set of Dances with Wolves. On the back, Costner had written, "To Chock, my compass in the storm. Thank you for everything." Joan knew she had found her story, but she also knew it wasn't just about Kevin Costner or Charles Harper. It was about the unseen forces that shape our lives and the sacrifices we make for the people we care about. When Joan's article was published, it sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Costner, who rarely gave interviews, released a statement acknowledging Harper's influence on his career. "Chock was more than a friend," he wrote. "He was my guiding light, even when I didn't realize it." For Joan, the story of Chock and Kevin Costner wasn't just another scoop. It was a reminder of the power of connections, those we celebrate, those we hide, and those that quietly define us.